Shalom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we go.
we
We
should.
go wild. We go wild. Beautiful. Shalom, my girl.
Alright, first and foremost, Shalom Akim, gonna give infinite honors and praises to
Yahweh,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Harakatadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, rule and teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful and faithful elect across the four corners, living and preaching the truth to the best of their ability and sincerity. And again, Shalom.
Shalom.
And as you can see from the title of today's lesson, it says the spiritual parallels between the left and the right hand, man. But basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be honing in on Esau's blessing, man, and how that's led him up into the day, the stages he had to go through, and the fact that he's in his right mindset for holding on to his power like he is, man.
Yeah, I got you right here. Genesis.
God.
Hold on. What that was?
Genesis 27 and 40.
Or hold on.
Right, 7:39.
27 and 40. I got you. All right, this Genesis chapter 27, verse 40. And it says, well, I start at verse 39. Well, I start at 38.
Okay.
Genesis 27, verse 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also. Oh, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Right? You gonna something that's important to you, you're gonna cry about it or whatever like that. You know, he didn't take it serious when it mattered, right? In the beginning part. So now the result of you not taking it serious got you in tears, got you hating us. It ain't our fault. Okay? Blame Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But anyway, it says, verse 39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, and this is going into the so-called white man's blessings. It says, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
All right, so we're living in that blessing right now. We're living in Esau's blessing, man. He has the fatness of the earth. All right, pertaining to Job 9 and 24. He's literally ruling the planet right now. All right, so he's the one prescribing what's right and what's wrong, dictating left from right. Okay, that's the blessing.
Well, so it says, and of the dew of heaven from above.
Right, the dew of heaven. When you look at dew, that's like the little water droplets on the ground. It's not the entirety of heaven, but yeah, you got the beginning of those waters, man. The little upper atmosphere, right? Where you can see him putting his satellites, putting his so-called space stations, right? His vehicles, all to spy on the people. Okay, why is he spying on the people? To maintain that blessing, man.
Which goes into it says, and we're gonna strategically go into that part where it says, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Okay. Now, outside of the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, that era, the most recent time to Esau gaining that power that's closest to the time period that we're in today is what? The Renaissance period. Okay, so in the last days, that is when that, began as far as Esau's last days started in the Renaissance period. That's when the last days of the so-called white man, of the so-called Mount Seir, right, begin. Okay, so it says, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Now, let's go into the colonial era right quick. Give me the the little quick definition of that colonial era, which we are all familiar with when you go into the prophecies like Daniel, different parts of Revelation, Daniel the 2nd chapter, Daniel the 7th chapter, Revelation 17, Revelations 13, Revelations 9, Revelations 12, different chapters, different precepts like that, But go ahead.
It says, when was the colonial era? It says colonial America was 1492 to 1763.
Which is what we call the Renaissance period, all right? That's when the so-called white powers begin to get the what? Fatness of the earth. Okay? The French, the Spanish,
The
You
British,
know, the Portuguese, the British. That's why you Negroes speak these languages, man. The fatness of the earth contains you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and
yeah.
Native Americans, man.
The
Okay,
crucial
you're included in that package, man. All right.
That's in your ass, man.
We was a part of that package. We was a part when he said that he should get the fatness of the earth. It was talking about y'all motherfuckers as well. Okay. So when you go into the Renaissance era, I mean the colonial era, you can also look at Psalms the 83rd chapter, which we're gonna go into that also. But when you look at this particular era, this is Esau getting the fatness of the earth
Right
and dividing the spoil between each other. That's why they had the World War I and World War II. It was the Edomites dividing the spoil of the fatness of the earth between each other. The French like we gonna take this, America like we gonna take that, Britain like we gonna take that there. You know, Spain like well we can get this here. You know, Russia like well we fuck all that, we gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just all about what's up for grabs on the nation of Israel and the rest of these fucking heathens out here. All right, on Esau's behalf. Go ahead.
It says colonial America. It says European nations came to the Americas to increase their wealth and broaden their influence over world affairs.
But before they came to the Americas, guess where they went? They went to West Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Conquered
Yeah.
us,
They went to West Africa, got you West and Central Africans, so-called, because you're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You know, you were calling yourselves Songhai, Mali, you know, Nak Empire, Igbo, you know, Yoruba, you know, different stuff like that, man. The Congo, all that old dumb shit. That shit's stupid. You know, we were the Israelites. Yasha Allah. I mean, what else need to be said? We are the sons of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. There's no other introduction need to be said with that. Right? What the fuck is a Yoruba? What the fuck is a Fulani? You know? What is the African American? What is a Brazilian? What's a Haitian? We are the Israelites. That sounds a lot better.
That sounds way better, man. God.
And you'll really see how powerful you are. How much power we got in this fucking planet, man. You know, under the rulership of our king, Hamashiach, Yahushua. All right, go ahead.
It said the Spanish were among the first Europeans to explore the New World and the first to settle in what is now in the United States.
Okay.
In 1650, however, England, all right, so that's the Spanish and the British right there. All right, England had established a dominant presence.
These are two of the toes and two of the horns that the Bible speaks of. Go ahead.
England had established a dominant presence on the Atlantic coast. The first colony was founded at Jamestown, Virginia, 1607. Okay, and it said many of the people who settled in the New World were the so-called escaped religious persecution, things of that nature. Man.
Yeah, because I mean, like I say, that's when you go into the toes mixed with iron and miry clay and stuff like that. You know, you had a lot of turmoil going on within Esau, but they were all willing to put their differences aside.
Take over you niggas.
Give me Psalms 83 right quick for this cause.
All right, Psalms 83:1.
See, this is the difference between the so-called white man and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Y'all can't do this, especially you Negroes, man. Shit, Levi and Benjamin do a better job of sticking together than you so-called American Negroes.
Oh yeah, it's over.
You know.
God, it's Psalms 83:1. It says a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace.
Right, Lord. What's going on, Lord? These devils are poisoning everybody, killing everybody. You know, if you don't put a stop to this, Lord, they're gonna eventually get to us. You know, put it in, but we know that we got faith. We are. I'm just speaking for the conversation wise, you know what I'm saying? But seriously speaking, spiritually speaking, you got to have that faith. You know, we out here talking like we need that hope, we want that hope. But deep down, you have to be convinced, you have to be fully persuaded that, man, this is the only way out right here. Even if it means death. You know what I'm saying? But that goes back to that fully persuasion. But go ahead.
God. It says, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh.
Go ahead.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Meaning, don't let these people, these enemies, these Edomites, just sit around freely, just do what the fuck they want to do. You're not gonna talk to the Lord like that, but you know, you're gonna let the Lord know that you're fully displeased. You know, in the people that's running the earth. Lord, we are disgusted with the people that's running the earth. That's all it's saying. We're disgusted with the condition of the earth. Okay, go ahead.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
So we're not being convinced by you so-called Democratic Party, you so-called Republican Party. We know at the end of the day you're all Edomites and you fucking can't stand our guts. Okay, we know you hate us. Okay, so you can play all that good cop, bad cop shit all y'all want to do, you know what I'm saying? But we're not gonna get mixed all into that bullshit. We're gonna stick to this. All you bitches are our enemies. Both sides are our enemies. Okay, the whole house of Esau is our enemy. And everyone who's joined hand in hand to him are our enemy. Go ahead.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And the hidden ones are who? The Israelites. The hopeful elect. The Lord if the Lord didn't hide us, if the Lord had us out in plain sight, Esau would have been killed us. The Lord can't come out and be like, okay, this is this man, this is that man, this is that bloodline, this is that bloodline, this descendant, this that descendant. Esau will hunt us down and fucking annihilate our ass, man. If the Lord just put it out there in plain sight. So he dispersed his men, his prophets, spreading them all throughout the four corners, right? And put a hedge around them. Some men we're poor, they call us poor, they call us the lowly. It say we're crying, it say we're in mourning, it say we're mad, it say we're angry. All of these things, right, are adjectives of who? The prophet, the prophets of the Lord. Should I say is it adjectives or adverbs?
That's the right word.
Yeah, adjectives. These are all adjectives. You know, this brother been in school a lot more recent than I have. Yeah. So-called Edomite school. You know what I'm saying?
Recently.
Yeah, you know. This brother helped me with the latest information Esau out here pushing out. And I help him with the latest information on this side, man. You know? Go ahead.
And it says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Yeah, man. And that's what they have done. That is the agenda. Okay? And the main way to cut a whole nation off is by killing y'all stupid motherfuckers. It's by putting the yeah with the yeah inside of you, man. Yeah. Putting this juice in you. What the brother call him? Juice World?
The juice world.
They're going to take that Juice World, man. Okay. Go ahead.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And that's why. That's a psychological attack right there. What do you use to remember? Your mind. So to even take Israel, not only to physically destroy them, but they say so that they will be no more in remembrance. So that's a psychological warfare. That's psychological tactics right there. We got to attack that mind right there. We got to get into the educational system. We got to get into that religious system. We know Negroes love them some religion. So let's get into that religious system. Let's tap into that door. You know, let's you know, Esau like, let's get them out that 144 shit, put them on this 666 shit.
3-6. Yeah.
You know, they put him on his 666 Mafia.
3-6. God.
All right, go ahead.
All right, it says, verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent.
Mm-hmm.
They are confederate against thee.
Yeah, man, and they are confederate against us. Because guess what we said earlier? The British, they don't like the French. The French don't like the German. The German don't like the Portuguese. Portuguese don't like the Spanish, so on and so forth. Russia, all the way up to Russia. Right? But nevertheless, what? Read it again.
All right. It's verse 5.
Even though they don't like each other. Matter of fact, let's go even further than that. They don't even like the motherfucking Gooks, man. You so-called Chinese.
Oh, yeah.
You Moabites and you Ammonites. They don't even like y'all.
You animals to them.
They don't even like you sand niggas. You sand monkeys is what they call you. You Arab. They call you sand monkeys. Okay?
Yeah.
They don't even like you. You dirty, piss, bathing ass Hamites.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely don't like you motherfuckers, man. Okay? But this is what they do just to keep the nation of Israel at the fucking bottom. Go ahead, bro.
Right. Well, they have consulted together with one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
And they all came together against us. They put all of them, their differences aside to suppress the nation of Israel. Okay, that contains you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native, so-called Latinos, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? But what it says that the very remembrance of Israel shall be remembered no more. That's psychological warfare. So how do you do that? You got to set up an educational system by doing that. Now, how do you spread this information throughout the world to brainwash the minds of the people of the world into believing that these are people of God? These are just a bunch of fucking monkeys.
Yeah.
These are just a bunch of fucking slaves.
Man,
Let's get into this left-hand side of what they call technology. In the scriptures, we call it spiritual power. In this society, y'all call it technology, okay? Whether it's for good or whether it's for bad. Y'all consider it technology. Like, for instance, when Yahweh Shai and the angels come to the earth, y'all are not going to look at them as from a spiritual perspective. You fucking heathen. Y'all aren't spiritual. You're incapable of being spiritual. So to you, it's going to be some extraterrestrials from another world coming to conquer the earth. You see what I'm saying? But to us, it's gonna be a whole nother playground. You know? Go ahead though.
Right. It's verse 6, and it says the tabernacles of Edom, the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, the Baal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre.
That's right. And then, like I said, all of these have sat at the table with each other to this day. And you're lording over the nation of Israel, reaping the benefits of our blood, sweat, and tears. Every last one of you. Okay, beginning with the so-called white man, the house of Amalek, which is the chief house of Esau. All right? You so-called Jewish people. Okay, you international banking families. Okay? You're the descendants of the people who financed the Atlantic slave trade. You financed the entire transatlantic slave trade. Okay? Go ahead.
Right here, it's Revelation 20, and I said verse 3, and it says, I said verse 2, and it said that he laid hold onto the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little seed.
Now here we go right here. You don't think the so-called white man picked the Bible up and say to himself, I wonder if that's talking about us. You goddamn right they do that. But his pride has deceived him. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. So in his mind, he thinks that he can outwit Yahweh. That's the deception. Did not the serpent come to Eve and make her question what Yahweh laid down? Those laws? That's what pissed the Lord off, and that's what got Adam and Eve cursed. By them allowing an outside entity to cause them to question the word of Yahweh. Okay? Go ahead.
So Obadiah.
I'm supposed to be bringing out one too. I know you got the Genesis out. But keep going. I'm good.
Obadiah 1 and let's see 3. All right, I know what you said. It said, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee."
Yeah, that big ass head of yours, Esau. You know, you've been on top of the world since the Renaissance period. Like I say, 500 years plus.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have a big ass head. You know, you've been in power for over 500 years. You had your foot on the neck of the children of Israel for 500 years. You damn right you're supposed to be proud. Ain't nobody supposed to be able to tell you a goddamn thing. Go ahead.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Because you are cave dwellers, that's why we call you Caucasian. Okay? That's the scriptures identifying who you are. Modern times, you like these big ass what? Skyscrapers. These big towers. That's what those cliffs of the rock, modern day cliff of the rocks are.
Concrete on the ground.
These big concrete jungles. That's what they call it.
Concrete
You even call it like New York. You call it a concrete jungle. Okay? When you go into the wilderness of nature, and where there's a lot of stone, chances are you're in a mountainous region, right or wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you look at these modern cities, these are modern day cliffs, man. And his brother said that they don't like the sun at all. Yeah, and when you go into these cities, they blot out the sun.
Yeah, all the towers.
All them towers. A lot of places in New York are these big cities that's full of skyscrapers, like Chicago, out there in what else they got, man? It's only really just New York, just really New York, and not even really Chicago. It's really just New York. Because Chicago is just they central business district is centralized in one area. When you're in New York, as far as the fucking eye can see, it's nothing but fucking skyscrapers, man. I don't think nothing else on the earth can really compare to the density of the skyscrapers. I'm talking about as far as skyscrapers are concerned to New York, you know. So we just say New York, you know. But that's a perfect example of the modern day cliffs of the rocks, man. All right. So they went from the caves to the what? Skylines. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, New York was one of those first colonies that was set up, huh? Out of the 13 colonies when they first came over. New York was one of them.
Yeah.
It says cliffs of the rock whose habitation is high.
Yeah, where do you habitate? What is a habitation? That's where you dwell. That's where you live. Okay? Just like I said, you went from the caves in the mountainous regions called the Caucasus Mountains to now you're living in towers, skylines, high rises, skyscrapers. Go ahead.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
That's right. I mean, you've been on top for 500 years, and you dominated World War I and World War II. You dictated both of them motherfuckers. And you determined who won and who lost both world wars. So you're supposed to have a big ass head. Okay? Your skull supposed to be big as the inside of this motherfucking car. Okay? Go ahead.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Those are two main hints right there. Okay? From the Roman Empire even up to the day, they exalt themselves as the eagle. Okay? America's symbol is the what? Bald eagle. Stop playing, man. Okay. And though you build thy nest amongst the stars, right? How did you do that? Look up ISS, the International Space Station. That's when you did that. That is a nest amongst the stars. When we're on the Earth, look up at the stars, right? Especially if you're looking through a telescope, it is possible to see the International Space Station if it so happens passing over the area that you happen to be magnifying, man. Okay. These are facts. They're prophecies, but they have been proven to be true. They have came to pass. These two prophecies have came to. You've already exalted yourself as the eagle. You've already set yourself amongst the stars. Go ahead. Set your nest among the stars.
Hence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
And that's when the so-called white man realized that his time was short. You look at a lot of these little movies, like with a lot of these astronauts from NASA and shit. They always talk about seeing what? UFO sights. They always talk about seeing UFO sights. You know, whether it's just a beam of light they seen, an orb, an actual flying disc, a cylinder-shaped disc, whatever, cherry, whatever you want to call it. Well, there are cherries according to the Bible. Okay, to actually seeing like Norman Bergman. Like, I want to know what happened. Y'all notice when you go on YouTube, YouTube deleted all of that footage of Norman Bergman at that fucking interview with that girl when he was like, they actually got footage of, which we ain't gonna get all lost into that stuff, because we already know the scriptures already confirmed to be true. You know, of these tall black people, man. He said black people. So obviously they look just like our motherfucker there. He said people. He didn't say black aliens. He didn't say black creatures. He said black people. So they were people with black skin, black ass skin, okay? So there's so much proof in the pudding that these prophecies hold true. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 5, it says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how wast thou cut off? Would not they have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would not they leave some grapes?
But shit, Esau don't leave it. Damn thing.
You
got it. I'm gonna get a couple of for you too.
It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? And that's through the prophets. Now we're the only ones proclaiming this way, making it obvious that this is the devil that the Bible is speaking of, man. All right, through these hints, through these prophecies, man. Okay, you got the symbol of the eagle. He's actually in the heavens right now, man. Right, that's that blessing fulfilled right there. Okay, he's actually gone forth and deceived all the nations through his media, through the newspapers, man. Graduating up into this internet system that we have today. All right, and it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, man. Right, and that's doubling for the enemies of Esau right now, man. They've laid a wound for him, man. Right, all these nations, those three horns that that's something good. Those three horns that have came up with Esau, they have laid a wound for him, man. They're now confederate against Esau. All right, and it says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mouth of Esau? All right, and that's why you see that blessing getting taken away the way that it is, man. Esau's getting less deceptive every day. All right, every time he posts something on the news, it's less believable, man.
Yeah, man. All right, this Psalm 17 and 8. It says, keep me as the apple of the eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wings, from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about.
How we being kept under the shadow of the Lord's wings, man, through his angels. The angels have charge over us. All right, so he's sanctioning this to protect my men right here, man. Keep this from happening to them in this case. Okay? All right, from the wicked. Esau Edom.
They are enclosed in their own fat. So what the brother brought out, thy pride have deceived thee, right? It says they are enclosed. You can break it down. Right? Yeah. It says they are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth they speak proudly.
With their mouths they speak proudly. Who's the so-called proudest nation on the earth, man? Esau, Edom. Right? America is considered the proudest nation on the earth because of who is running it. Right? Oh, no one can touch us. We got the most superior military. Got the most advanced technology, man. Right? But all these things are being stripped away.
Hold on. They got the most what?
Advanced technology.
Hold that thought. Verse 11. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. Satellites.
Satellites, right?
And fucking technology, okay? Go ahead.
Right? They literally have set their eyes, man. They're watching everything you do.
What else is he talking about? I can come on. Let me read it again. Okay? It says, verse 11, Psalm 17:11. They have now compassed us in our steps, meaning they went beyond us, right? They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth.
You're literally looking down on the earth, huh?
Those some fucking satellites, man. So there it is. You got satellites prophesied in the Bible. You can't play with this book, man. Keep going, though. All right? That was just a break. I mean, for you to break your point, bring your point out. I'm just backing you up, reading.
It's Ezekiel 28:3. It says, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee." All right, because of those satellites, because of this technology, because of the blessing that he's been given, man. I did. This is what he was talking about when he got the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. All right, he gets to patrol everything. He's a law enforcer on this bitch, man. All right, if you do something in another continent, he has the right to come and get you. Okay? And it says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. All right, and as we was talking about, that fatness ain't exclusively just talking about resources and this and that. It's talking about the Israelites, man. All right, that's the same as that gold and silver. All right, once he got you under his belt, he's making sure he doesn't lose you. You're his most prized possession, man. All right, the Israelites are, as ironic as that sounds, the Israelites are the key to him keeping his blessing. Who else is going to do all the manual labor? Who else is going to be the creative one, huh? Yeah. It says, because thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches, huh? All right, if you're someone who has control over the whole earth, you can be considered rich. That's what true riches are. All right, the resources, the people. Okay, everything that comes with that blessing. That's what makes Esau rich. Okay, that's what puts him on top and allows him to stay on top. So with that, so this was a edifying lesson. Gonna end it by giving infinite honors and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaRakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Brain Millstone, rule and teach well. Peace and blessing to the hopeful and faithful elect across the four corners, living and preaching this truth to the best of their ability and sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom, Mike. Shalom. Shalom. Yeah, he don't want us to finish, y'all. Yeah.